The first time I saw Evelyn Carter in person, she was standing under a chandelier worth more than my entire apartment building. And 5 seconds later, someone tried to kidnap her. My lips touched hers for less than 2 seconds. That was all it took for my life to fall apart. "Get your hands off me!" Her voice cracked through the ballroom like glass shattering. Before I could explain, 2 security guards slammed me into a table hard enough to knock the air out of my lungs. Before next, take a moment to help us by like this video, subscribe our channel. Welcome back. Champagne exploded across the floor. Someone screamed. Phones came out instantly. Because in America, nothing happens quietly anymore. Especially when a billionaire CEO looks terrified. "I was trying to save you," I choked. "Save me?" Evelyn stared down at me with disgust. "You kissed me." Around us, hundreds of people watched. Politicians. Investors. News reporters. Every single one of them already deciding what kind of man I was. And none of them noticed the guy in the gray suit disappearing through the emergency exit. The same man who'd had a syringe hidden in his sleeve. The same man who'd been 1 second away from dragging Evelyn Carter unconscious out of that ballroom. But nobody saw that part. Nobody except me. And I was already in handcuffs. 12 hours earlier, my biggest concern had been whether my daughter's asthma medication would last until payday. "Dad, you're burning the pancakes again." I looked down at the black smoke rising from the pan and sighed. "That's called flavor, Emma." My 10-year-old rolled her eyes dramatically. "Flavor doesn't crunch." Fair point. Ever since my wife died 3 years ago, it had just been me and Emma in a tiny apartment over a laundromat in Chicago. I drove for Carter Global's executive transport division at night. Not glamorous. Mostly rich people talking on phones while pretending drivers don't exist. But the pay kept the lights on. Barely. That morning, my supervisor called me unexpectedly. "Jason, change of plans. We need you at the Carter Foundation Gala tonight." "The billionaire party?" "Yes. And try not to look terrified around rich people." Too late. By 8 p.m., downtown Chicago looked like a movie set. Black SUVs lined the street outside the hotel. Cameras flashed everywhere. Women in designer gowns floated through the entrance like royalty. And then Evelyn Carter arrived. The CEO of Carter Global. 42 years old. Self-made billionaire. Ice-cold reputation. The media called her the woman who never smiles. Honestly? They weren't wrong. She stepped out of the SUV in a silver dress that probably cost more than my yearly rent. Everyone moved around her carefully. Like people orbiting the sun. Then her eyes landed on me. "You're the replacement driver?" "Yes, ma'am." "You have children?" The question caught me off guard. "One daughter." For a second, something softened in her expression. Then it vanished. "Keep the vehicle close tonight." And she walked away. That should have been the end of it. But 20 minutes later, I noticed something strange. A man in a gray suit wasn't watching the stage. Wasn't drinking. Wasn't socializing. He was watching Evelyn. Constantly. His hand stayed inside his jacket the entire time. Maybe I wouldn't have cared. Except I used to be military police before life fell apart. And instincts don't disappear. They just get quieter. I moved closer. That's when I saw the syringe. Everything after that happened fast. The lights dimmed for the charity presentation. The man stepped behind Evelyn. One hand reached for her waist. The other pulled out the needle. I didn't think. I grabbed Evelyn and kissed her. Hard. She froze instantly. The attacker hesitated. Just long enough for me to slam him backward into a serving cart. Metal crashed. People screamed. But the kidnapper disappeared into the crowd before security understood what was happening. And Evelyn? She shoved me away like I'd burned her. Then came the screaming. The accusations. The handcuffs. By midnight, clips of me kissing her were already viral online. Headlines. CEO assaulted at charity gala. Single father accused of attacking billionaire. Carter Global driver under investigation. My daughter saw one of the videos before school. Kids started calling her Creep's daughter by lunch. That hurt more than the handcuffs. The next morning, Detective Ramirez walked into the interrogation room. "You're either incredibly stupid," she said, dropping photos onto the table, "or you actually saved her life." The pictures showed the gray-suited man. Zoomed in. The syringe clearly visible. My chest tightened. "You found him?" "No. But we found traces of ketamine in the syringe." "Kidnapping. Human trafficking. Possibly worse." Ramirez leaned closer. "Why didn't you just yell?" "Because he would have stabbed her before security reacted." "And the kiss?" It made him hesitate. For the first time since my arrest, someone looked at me like I wasn't garbage. Then the door opened. Evelyn Carter walked in. Alone. No makeup. No cameras. No billionaire armor. She looked exhausted. Ramirez quietly left the room. For a few seconds, Evelyn just stared at me. Then she asked softly, "Did you really save my life?" I nodded. "You humiliated me in front of the entire country. You think I wanted this?" Silence. Then I saw it. The guilt. Tiny at first. But growing. "My security team found another camera angle," she admitted quietly. She slid her phone across the table. The footage clearly showed the attacker reaching for the syringe before I grabbed her. Evelyn's face changed as she watched it again. Like her world had tilted sideways. "I had you arrested. You thought I crossed a line." "No," she whispered. "I thought rich women like me always needed protection from men like you." That sentence hung in the air between us. Heavy. Ugly. Honest. Then she looked up at me. And I was wrong. 3 days later, Evelyn Carter did something nobody expected. She held a live press conference. Every major news network showed up. "I publicly misjudged an innocent man," she said calmly. "Jason Reed prevented a violent crime against me. Without him, I may not be standing here today." Reporters exploded with questions. But then she said something that shocked everyone even more. "My company's negligence also caused harm to his daughter. That responsibility belongs to me." The next morning, Emma's school received a full anti-bullying initiative funded by Carter Global. Anonymous, of course. Except nothing stays anonymous when billionaires are involved. A week later, Evelyn came to our apartment herself. No cameras. No security convoy. Just her. Emma opened the door holding a pancake. "You're the lady Dad accidentally kissed." I almost died on the spot. But for the first time since meeting her, Evelyn Carter laughed. A real laugh. Not the billionaire fake kind. And somehow, standing in our tiny apartment with syrup on my daughter's face and laundry humming downstairs, she looked less powerful. But more human. Then she turned to me quietly. "You saved my life, Jason." I shrugged awkwardly. "You would have done the same." She held my gaze a second longer than necessary. "No," she said softly. "I don't think I would have." Don't forget to subscribe.